Welcome to Garden Cafe. I'm Maureen, and this is my Texas Zone 8B 9A garden. This week, we are going to take on this newly created shade garden. My husband and I, last year, this is all no-till, laid down the cardboard, put soil over it, mulch over it. We did everything, and then we let it sit for the last 6 months. But it is definitely time to start planting. This area, although I'm getting dappled sunlight right now, it's only the first week in March. But once all the leaves on these trees start coming in, this area is almost entirely shade. From these walk stone pathways over to the fence, 100% shade. From here out, it gets dappled sunlight to more direct sunlight. So I'm going to be focusing on the shade garden this week, from the stones to the fence. All right, so this is the plan. I've been growing wide brim hosta, and on the other side of these stones, back about 12 inches, because I'd like to put some lower flowers in here, I've started wide brim hosta. I'll put the photo, and I'm going to be putting those in a line following the curve of this path. Next to those, and those grow to 24 inches, and they're hardy in zones 3 through 9. Love that green and yellow leaf. Next to each one of them, I'm going to plant Big Daddy hosta, which is these gorgeous blue-green leaves. Also grows to 24 inches. And then for the third plant in the line, I'm going to be repeating the pattern going across. I'm going to put in Kathleen Caladium, which has gorgeous green and red leaves, grows to 20 to 24 inches, and is also hardy in zones 3 through 9. So it works here. So I'm not quite sure what my pattern's going to be, but I'm thinking like Big Daddy wide brim caladium, Big Daddy wide brim caladium, some form of repeated pattern going across here. Just picture a 2-foot high, pretty different color leaves, and this line should give us a little bit of height working backwards. Now behind those, I have been growing Dicentra. It's also known as bleeding heart. There's so many different varieties. I'll put up a picture of the one I have. I've also been growing this. All of these that I'm discussing right now, I've been growing in 6-inch pots from bare roots or bulbs, so most of them are ready to come out. But behind the line of the hostas and the caladiums, I want to plant Dicentra, and Dicentra, also known as bleeding heart, will grow to 36 inches. So picture that, the flowers growing over this line of hostas and caladiums. It can tolerate sun in cooler climates, but Central Texas folks, I'm already sweating. First week in March, they are definitely going to be shade plants for my zone. So those will go behind that. And then closest to the fence, I planted Clerodendron down the fence further, and frankly, it got too much sun. Every time the sun touched it, the entire plant fainted. Beautiful flowers, though. So I'm thinking, especially once this area is in full shade, the Clerodendron in the back will grow as tall as the fence and also have beautiful flowers. So that's my vision. That's what we're going to work on this week. I do have some begonias that I would like to plant here that are ready to be planted in front of the hostas. I haven't decided which flowers I do want to follow this path in the front. Obviously, I'll need something a little bit lower. But that is the big job for this week. It should be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I think that's about where I want things. I've got the 2 hostas already growing. The caladium, I just started last week, so that won't go out this week. I'm going to assume 2 or 3 weeks for that one before it's ready to go out. The Dicentras I placed behind the row of hostas. Now remember, those are the bleeding heart taller ones. And this begonia I thought was so beautiful. Got it on clearance. It had a broken pot. Now I repotted it, uppotted it, fertilized it, good soil. So it's coming back. It's beautiful. I think I'm going to divide that one. And I'm going to plant one half of it right here where it is on the bend. And I'm going to plant the other half right here where this path curves in and then curves back out again towards the bench garden. So I'm pretty sure these are the placements I want. My husband will dig the holes for me, and then we'll get to planting. Just a little side note. I have the most wonderful, supportive, loving husband in the world who completely supports my gardening mania and is always out here digging and planting, and anything that I need done, he does. And he is so lovely. He bought this nifty little weeding tool. Awesome tool. It is great for, like, especially getting weeds out from under bushes or trees, and it really does. It's very effective and it's wonderful. But my husband did this to my entire cut garden. And I was horrified. Oh my God, my plants. But he is just the most wonderful man in the world, and he is so helpful. So this is just a gardening approach. Some things may work, some things may not. I have a bunch of zinnia seeds. I've got pro-cut sunflower seeds. So this garden will look a little bit different than what I had originally planned, but it's going to be beautiful. And then we'll figure out where to put it. Okay, so it's time to plant. My wonderful husband is digging the rest of the holes for me. Pretty basic and simple. When we created this no-till garden last fall, we covered it with cardboard. We then put in a bunch of really good soil, and then we mulched over the entire thing. And we just let it sit for 6 months, which has absolutely worked. These used to be grass back here, and we're talking Texas grass, rock hard ground. So it worked. I'm happy. So I'm just putting a little bit of good soil in, a little bit of the Flower Tone Espoma. It's a slow release fertilizer. Oh, look, the roots on these are really nice. These are the ones I grew from bulbs, so I'm thrilled. And it's so pretty. It's going to be huge. And I'm just going to use a lot of the, well, I'm calling it native soil. It really isn't. It's the soil we use to create the no-till garden around here. Just break it up. There we go. And that's simple. So that is one of the Big Daddy hostas. That is finished. What is that? Looks like a trimmer string. All right. And now onto the Dicentra Bleeding Heart. And you're seeing dappled sunlight back here, but when the tree over me puts out all of its leaves, which is probably in just another month, a couple weeks to a month, this is going to be 100% shade. So I started these also. Yeah, looks pretty good from bulbs, and it's moving along nicely. And put some of the good potting soil that I got from Costco, because that one seemed to grow along the side of the pot. So I don't want to put more of this clay-based soil next to it. I think it'll be fine. Another thing I noticed, which is a very good sign, is when I was digging these holes, there were tons of worms. And that's always a good sign for healthy soil. Okay, now that one's done. And on to the green and yellow hosta. I just went blank on the name. I'll put it up here. Oh, wow, look at those roots. That looks happy. I did some research on the best fertilizer for hostas. The caladiums are not ready to go in. That's why we have the spaces between the the other hostas. They will go in there when they're ready. But I didn't plant them until pretty late. Oh, look, piece of cardboard. That was still intact. So the caladium will go in when it starts growing. I started those in 6-inch pots, same as these hostas, because it's not 100% that they all come up. Although, oddly enough, these two hostas, every single one of them grew, and they're gorgeous. So I'm thrilled. The caladium, we'll see. So far, my sister has not had a lot of luck with hers. She planted hers about a week before mine. And we got them at exactly the same time. So, and they're the exactly same caladium. So we'll have to wait and see how mine come up. It just maybe not very good caladium bulbs, but we will see. I'll move the camera over and continue. Okay, that's it for the hostas and the dicentra. Next, I am going to divide this calanchoe, I don't know how to say it, and I'm going to plant it half where it is right there, and the other half right in here. So to split that up, because that is just gorgeous, but I don't need it to be that big right there. Okay, so now it's time to tackle dividing this kalanchoe. Love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. This was a sad little plant I got at a 75% off clearance because the pot was broken and the plant was really on its way down. I took it home. I put it in a new pot, put good soil, good fertilizer, and as you can see, it's doing gorgeous. Now, I've had good luck with kalanchoe, good and bad. I'm just going to divide this in half and plant it at 2 locations in this shade garden. My good experience there, didn't like that, with the kalanchoe was I had them growing in the window boxes in my front yard. I'm just trying to find a good place to divide these. They grew well last summer. They seem to do. Well, these seem to be just coming right apart. Look at that. Okay, well, that was easy. I thought I was going to have to use my Hori Hori knife. I don't think so. Okay, so that's one. Divided them, planted them, brought them inside because they're clearly not winter plants. Brought them inside, and they did really well. We had a very mild winter through December, so I put them out in the greenhouse. I have one of these tiny little greenhouse, soft-sided greenhouse, and then the freezes hit, and I thought it should be fine in the greenhouse because freezes here mean, upper 20s. Nope, they all died. But at least I know I'm able to do this. I'm able to bring them in, and they will live. I just should have kept them inside for a few more weeks. All right, well, this was not a big deal. I'm going to plant half, I think, right about here. And I'm going to plant the other half over on the other corner. And I'll move the camera when I get there. But for here, let's go ahead and plant this one here and get that one going. And then we'll plant the other one over there. Okay. All right, so this is where the path begins to turn. And some of these stones and bricks we just took from other parts of the yard. And it comes through this way, and then it flares out a little bit, and then to the path. So I'm thinking with the Big Daddy hosta growing here, and that's going to be 2 feet, right about here would be good for the kalanchoe. And I think they will appreciate the shade far more than they did the front yard window boxes. We will see, but if they do, I will for sure be propagating these in the fall so that I have beautiful kalanchoe to plant out. And this one, as I said, was a broken pot, 75% off, cost me $4. And some of those, they just need a little care. When you find a good deal, it's good to grab it. Take them home, pot them up, fertilize, water, and you have a beautiful plant. All right, let's see if that's big enough. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll do it. All right, let me get some soil here. And this again is, bring this over, raised bed and ground soil with compost. Costco right now is on sale, $4 off a bag. Well worth the trip. And then, of course, with the flower tone, mix that up. All right. And all the soil I dug out is very good. Just want to make sure it's extra nutritious for what I plant here. Okay. Pretty easy. Wow, I was surprised. It almost fell apart into 2 different plants. I was ready to cut through roots. That was not necessary. Okay. Well, that's one. I'll turn the camera towards the other one. We'll get that in. And for today, at least until my caladium decide to grow, we'll be finished with the shade garden for now. Okay, I think that's it for our shade garden today. It's a beautiful start. I just can't wait for all these to fill in. And again, in the spaces will be caladium. So I think that will all fill in very nicely. Thank you for watching my video today. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and share. It helps me to grow my channel. Have a wonderful day.